Hello students, a very good evening. I hope you are regularly going through our current affairs sessions and have, made notes out of it. Now we have quite a lot of news to discuss for today. So let's get into it. Let's try to see what are we going to discuss. So the first one, of course, the very famous, the most important one, that is the G7 summit. Now what is this? The group of 7 countries. Now they have decided to meet, that is from till today, from June 13th to the 15th, with the Mediterranean nations assuming the group's presidency earlier this year. Mr. Modi, who is the current Prime Minister of India, will be attending this summit for the 5th time in a row. India has attended 10 G7 summits in the past, and this will be the 11th one. It is important for you to understand that this year it is in Italy, and the Prime Minister is expected to hold bilateral meetings and discussions with the leaders of the G7, as also the outreach countries and international organizations. Similarly, as I told you, it is in the Italian presidency, and the participation would also provide a timely opportunity to follow up on the outcomes of G20 summit that was held in the last year with India's presidency. Understanding the same, it is important for us to understand the key issues that are there as a part of this summit. Now we are seeing the first one, which is Africa, climate change and development. And the summit's first discussion will be focusing on these things which are critical for the global south and India's development. Similarly, the second one, which is Middle East and Ukraine conflict. Now understanding the same, the ongoing conflict in these regions are expected to dominate at the discussions of the summit, which is obvious because understanding that these issues, addressing these issues will help in getting, or resolving some complex geopolitical challenges. Similarly, the next will be artificial intelligence. Now, this is one of the key topics on the agenda, highlighting India's growing focus on AI and its potential applications. Similarly, global challenges. Now, when I try to talk about global challenges, it is also important for us to understand that our Prime Minister will engage with other world leaders on pressing global issues, reflecting India's commitment to addressing international challenges and its active engagement on the global stage. Now, try to understand the basic important features, or understanding what is this G7 summit. So as I told you, the host country is Italy. The dates are June 13th to 15th of 2024. The venue is Borgo Ignazia, Apulia, Italy. The host is Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. The participants for this is G7 countries: Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, UK, US and European Union. Invited guests for this summit is India, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Brazil, Argentina, Turkey, UAE, Kenya, Algeria, Tunisia, Mauritania, that is AU, and Vatican City. Now, the key topics, as I told you: Ukrainian conflict, Middle East issues, climatic change, artificial intelligence. Special sessions that we are planning to discuss, or that are going to be a part of it, is outreach on AI, energy, African and Mediterranean region. Bilateral meetings that we just mentioned is PM Modi with Italian PM Meloni, among others. And finally, the expected outcomes that we see is joint statements, policy agreements, strategic partnerships. So make sure that you're having a brief discussion about this. Now, I have a question. We have also heard something called as G8. Is this G8 and G7 the similar one, or what is it? So drop it in the comment section. Let me know what are your views, and was the G7 and G8 the similar one? Moving ahead, the second news that we are discussing, consumer price index. Now, India's year-on-year inflation rate, which is based on All India Consumer Price Index, has decreased to 4.75% in the May of 2024. Now, according to this, the provisional data that's been released by the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Similarly, among the various categories, the spices subgroup, which has shown a significant decline in year-on-year inflation compared to April 2024. Now, additionally, if you see, notable decreases in inflation have been observed in the clothing and footwear. Similarly, housing and miscellaneous groups as well since the previous month, which is contributing to overall reduction in inflation. Definitely have a look at all of these things and try to understand the consumer price index in its whole. Moving ahead, another important news that you must be aware of, understanding this. See, why are we discussing this? Because we know this thing for a fact that a lot of times in our CLAT examination, a certain anniversary or some important event is also discussed. So, 40th anniversary of Operation Blue Star. Now, on the solemn occasion of the 40th anniversary of Operation Blue Star, the Golden Temple complex in the Punjab's Amritsar witnessed a poignant display of remembrance and activism. Now, when we try to talk about the history of this whole Khalistan movement, it starts from the partition to militancy. The idea of Khalistan arose post-partition, which divided Punjab, the heartland of Sikhism, into two major places, or two, leading to a sense of loss among the Indian Sikhs. Understanding this, we saw post this there was an emergence of Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale. And because of this, the Bhindranwale's disobedient movement, that is Dharam Yuddh Morcha, led to his refuge in the Akal Takht within the Golden Temple complex itself. Similarly, now when you see the operation commenced on the night of 5th June 1984 with the objective of neutralizing Bhindranwale and his armed supporters. Now the complex operation faced initial challenges due to the heavily defended positions within the Golden Temple itself. But then the troop faced fierce resistance from the militants strategically positioned within the complex. Now, post all of this, the assassination of PM also happened by her Sikh bodyguards in the October of 1984. Now, because of this, we could see there were a lot of anti-Sikh riots, and we could see that this whole event was so majorly. When we try to talk about the whole event, it is important for you to understand the Operation Blue Star, who was Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale. Apart from this, it is also important for you to understand the idea of the today's times farmers protest, because we could see one more figure who had come into picture, and I want you to drop it in the comment section. Let me know the name of this figure as well, who had come all the way from overseas and discussed or played a major role during the farmers protest one. Okay, so talking about this, coming to the next news, that is PM Kisan Nidhi. Now what is this? This was released, basically the Prime Minister released the 17th installment of this PM Kisan Nidhi, which was benefiting 9.3 crore farmers within the 20,000 crores. Now, because of this 20,000 crores, we could see that this scheme is a central sector scheme with 100% funding from the government of India itself. And it was launched under the Ministry of Agriculture. Now, this was launched in the year 2019, and it was to supplement or to help out with financial needs of the farmers for the purchase of various inputs to ensure crop health and good yield. Similarly, under this, eligible farmers receive a fixed income support of 6,000 rupees per year, which is payable in 3 equal installments of 2,000 rupees each. Now, the objectives here are income support, enhance agricultural productivity, poverty alleviation, promotion of sustainable agriculture. Understanding the same, we come to the next news, which is child nutrition report. Now, this report, what are we trying to discuss? Recently, by UNICEF, we could see that they have revealed some alarming statistics. Now, this is with regards to severe food poverty among children under the age of 5. And this was there worldwide. Now, this report indicates that 27% of the young children and approximately 181 million are experiencing severe food poverty, and that is defined by consuming no more than 2 of the 8 recognized food groups per day. Similarly, this condition puts these children at the high risk of life-threatening malnutrition, including wasting, the most severe form. Now, understanding this, South Asia and the Sub-Saharan Africa, these two places, over 2/3 of children in the severe food poverty resides in these two regions. High impact countries are 20 countries that account for 65% of these children. So try to understand these countries, this statistics overall, and read about this child nutrition report of 2024. Moving ahead, what are we saying? On the 5th June, between the period of 5th June and 10th June, we could see the 57 years have passed. So basically 57th anniversary of the 6-day war. Now this was between Israel and Arab nations, or and its Arab neighbors. So the roots of this conflicts were what? Establishment of Israel. The 6-day war stemmed from escalating tensions between Israel and its Arab neighbors, particularly Egypt, Jordan and Syria, arising from the establishment of Israel and the displacement of Palestinian Arabs. Similarly, territorial and water disputes. Now, Egypt under the President Gamal Abdel Nasser had strained relationship with Israel due to the territorial and water dispute. Understanding the same, there was an outbreak of war which was immediate trigger. Egypt's naval blockade on the Straits of Tiran in the year 1967, which disrupting the Israel commerce, served as an immediate trigger. Because of this, Israel's response was they launched a preemptive military strike on Egyptian airfields on June 5th, gaining air superiority and launching ground operation into Sinai and Gaza. Jordan and Syria joined the conflict, attacking Israel from north and southern region. Now, the consequences of war were what? Firstly, swift victory. Israel swiftly gained control over the Sinai Peninsula, Gaza, the Golan Heights, the West Bank and east of Jerusalem. Similarly, geopolitical supremacy. Now, the next one that we saw is rise of Palestinian nationalism, because the war contributed to the rise of Palestinian nationalism and the emergence of Palestinian or Palestine Liberation Organization, that is PLO. What is the role of PLO in the current ongoing war between the Israel and Palestinian region? Ongoing, so quickly drop it in the comment section and let me know about that as well. Now, understanding the same, the ongoing tension that we are seeing, the occupation of East Jerusalem, the West Bank and Gaza by Israel post-war contributed in the ongoing tensions in the region. Similarly, there were some unresolved refugee crises as well. Now, the transformation of the region was such that humiliating defeat for the Arabs. Next was impact of geopolitics and subsequent conflicts. So, understanding these things, make sure that you're going through the 6-day war as well. Now, going back to this again, what do we see in the 1973 Yom Kippur War can be seen as an attempt to undo the losses suffered by Arab states in the 6-day war. So why did I go back to this is because I want you to go through the Yom Kippur War as well. Moving ahead, what are we seeing? Last year we could see that UN declared International Year of something else, and this year we are seeing UN declares 2025 as the International Year of Quantum Science and Technology. So, understanding this, we could also see UN had declared, going back to this, UN had declared International Year of Millets. So, basically the General Assembly has declared this year of quantum science and technology. The 193 member nations of United Nations have passed a resolution to this effect on 7th June 2024. The UN can declare one or more themes as the focus of an international year in order to promote through awareness and action. The objectives of the theme are basically earlier the United Nations had declared themes such as International Year of Cooperatives, of Peace and Trust and of Glacier Preservation. So definitely have a look at this and go through the international years of some important years as well. Now coming to the final news for today, that is Mukhyamantri Nijut Moina. Now what is this? Mukhyamantri Nijut Moina has basically this scheme was announced by the Assam government, and it was to promote the girl education and to end their child marriage, or to end the concept of child marriage in the state of Assam. Now this was announced by the Chief Minister of Assam, which is Hemanta Biswa Sharma, on the 12th of June of 2024, and this was after the Assam government cabinet approved this scheme. Now, this scheme aims to empower the girls of the state by promoting education amongst them with financial incentive and support from the state government. Now, similarly, this scheme will benefit approximately 10 lakh girl students in the state. Similarly, if you see the eligibility criteria here is, while the scheme is aiming to benefit a significant number of girl students, certain categories are not eligible for the incentives. Now, what are these certain categories? Daughters of the ministers and MLAs. Similarly, girl students who have received scooters under the state government scheme for excelling in the higher secondary exams, and girls enrolled in the private colleges and universities except venture colleges, and finally, girl students who are irregular in attendance or involved in undesirable activities like ragging. So definitely have a look at this as well. Coming to the last part of the video, I have requested you to drop in the comment section answers to some of the questions that are discussed in today's session. So make sure that you're putting in, and I'll see you all in the next video. Till then, bye bye, take care, and all the best.